Hey guys, we're back together again. I hope that you had a good day yesterday and that you are just rocking and rolling. I want to kind of touch base today about the Maya, Inca, and Aztec, the groups that you looked at yesterday. And let's look at this PowerPoint here. Sorry, I'm kind of moving around. But anyway, I want to look at, in particular, the Maya. You should have put that they were somewhere around between 600 and 900 AD. They actually existed earlier than that, but that was kind of the height of their civilization. You needed to have the Mayan government, that they were priests who were also the rulers of the Mayan government. You might have called this a king, and that's fine, but you do need to know that they were city-states that they were ruled by. For the Maya writing, there was a complex hieroglyphic style writing. You might have put the Maya code on your chart, which would have been great, but that could have been under one of their achievements. Some other achievements or pieces of technology are their pyramids. If you didn't put that, you might want to add it. They were great astronomers. They were very accurate, even thousands of years before and after they existed. They had a 365-day calendar. And they used things like these pyramids for religious ceremonies and things like that. Agriculturally, this was their major economic activity. Some of their cash crops were cotton and cocoa, and they also grew things like maize, beans, squash, and chili peppers. The Maya participated in long-distance trade, so that is one of their economic activities. Excuse me, they traded as far away as Teotihuacan. They also transported cocoa beans to market by canoe or in large baskets strapped to their backs. There are no beasts of burden in the Americas, and so if you wanted to get something from one place to another, you had to figure out how to carry it. As far as religion in the Maya, the most revered gods were Itzamna and Ixchel, who is the father and mother of all gods. And so they were polytheistic. If you put that, then that's sufficient. The Maya had something happen. We're not really sure exactly. It could have been a food supply issue, a natural disaster, pestilence, internal rebellion. But for some reason, they began to move from their cities. And so their cities are still there. There are a lot of them are underneath jungle still today. But the Maya began to abandon those cities, and we're not really certain why. So the Aztec, you probably put in the Aztec that they are a small group of people up until the early 1400s, and then that's at the height of their civilization. They began their civilization on Lake Texcoco, which is modern-day Mexico City. If you watched the video yesterday of the Aztec, this is where that myth or that legend comes into play with finding the city where there's a cactus with an eagle perched on the cactus with a snake in its beak, and that's supposedly where they saw the Aztecs saw this site, and so they began their city there. The Aztec government is, the Aztec are ruled by an emperor, and they would begin to conquer other people, and they basically, though, allowed people to have their independence, but they had to pay taxes. By 1473, They had subjugated most of the tribes in their area. They really didn't have a lot of fans in their area, and that's why when the Spanish come, these people turn on them very quickly. But their capital city, Tenochtitlan, which was set on top of a lake, was really a floating lake. They built floating islands called Chinampas, which we'll talk about. They had roads and aqueducts. Their big temples and pyramids were built out of volcanic rock, so it was kind of had air in it. And so a lot of technology in their cities. This is a picture of Tenochtitlan. It's out on the middle of Lake Texcoco. Their economy, they used money in the Aztec economy. They were very advanced. Several kinds of money were used by the Aztec. An example of that was the cocoa bean. It was very valuable. There were other markets in Tenochtitlan, but the one called Telco, which is the main market, was where almost everyone went because it had a large selection. The Aztec calendar, and you guys can't see this over here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit different there. Okay, so the Aztec calendar would be a piece of technology that you guys should have looked at. There was a 365-day calendar. Aztec writing might be another example of technology. The Aztec language was based on symbols representing writing. They could combine symbols to create sentences. They also had some mythology in their religion. According to the Aztec myth, there's a white-faced Quetzalcoatl, their most important god. He's the god of intelligence and the god of creation. Now, the fall of the Aztec. The Aztec are going to fall because of Spanish conquistador don't know if I'm recording. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I think I had frozen up. But the Spanish come in 1519. Hernan Cortez comes and he is able to basically not really trick, but he is able to get the other tribes in what becomes Mexico to kind of turn on the Aztec, and he advances on the Aztec and meets in the capital of Tenochtitlan, Moctezuma II. Now, how did he conquer the Aztecs? He is going to block all the exits from the Noche Triste is the long night, and the Aztec and the Spanish meet on this long causeway, and Moctezuma is killed. But they're going to overrun the Aztecs during the next 75 days. Many are going to die from hunger and smallpox as a result. So, the Aztecs are going to destroy the city of Tenochtitlan. They built Mexico City right on top of Tenochtitlan, so Mexico City is still on the Aztec ruins. And now we're going to move to the Inca kind of quickly. So between 1200 and 1535 AD, the Inca lived in South America. You should have had that on your chart. The Inca was a strict hierarchical society. At the top was the Sapa Inca. He was the ruler or the emperor. And so hopefully for government, you put the Sapa Inca or emperor, empire. The two lowest classes consisted of artisans, army captains, farmers, and herders. And farmers provided most of the food for the rest of the population. They had to pay a huge tax in the form of gold. So the Inca had a lot of gold. The main resources available in the Inca Empire were agricultural land and labor and mines. They would mine things like gold, silver, or copper. And the Inca, some of their agriculture included drainage systems and canals. They were able to raise things like potatoes, tomatoes, cotton, peanuts, and cocoa. And the llama were used for meat and transportation. So they had plenty of resources. And the Inca had an incredible road system, thousands of miles of road systems that ran up and down what is modern-day Chile today. Now, the Inca are also going to be taken over by the Spanish, but we will learn a little bit about that later. Let me get to your assignment for now. Today you looked at this chart, and we kind of just went over it to make sure you had everything. The only thing I don't think we talked about were the Inca and their religion. They were polytheistic too. All three of these used human sacrifice. The Inca used child sacrifice. I know. The Aztecs sacrificed a human every day in order to spill its blood so that the sun would rise. That's what they thought. And then the Maya used human sacrifice for religious festivals and things like that. So today, I want you to write a paragraph explaining the similarities and differences of the Maya, Aztec, and Inca. I want you to type this onto a Google Doc, and please, 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 please make sure and upload it onto Google Classroom. Don't email it to me or share it with me. Upload it onto Google Classroom. And then finally today, I would like for you to read this, The Reasons for Exploration, right here. And on that same Google Doc, answer these 4 questions. So, I know this video has taken about 12 minutes. I think you can do these other activities in less than 15 or 20 minutes. So, my aim is to not give you any more than about 30 minutes of work a day. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel like these are real hard and fast due dates. I would like for you to learn this information. I think it's valuable information. And, you know, if we get to come back to school, you're going to need to know it. So, if you have any questions, please send me a message in Google Classroom or in email. Oh yeah, some people have asked about Remind. I don't have a Remind. I don't really do Remind, but I will get back to you on Google Classroom. So if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you later.